This conference will now be recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors meeting. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. The meeting is available by GoToMeetings as well. We have an agenda in front of us. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Pam made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Todd, second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We have approved the minutes for May 12th and May 13th meetings. Everyone get to read those?
There were corrections that were out yesterday. Ever see
Yep.
those? Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Got those
Get
corrections.
that.
Right.
Is there a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mark, second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Motion passes. County attorney is not here today. Sure.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
So I have April fees for you this morning. The amount is $9,557.62.
Is there a motion to approve sheriff's report for April?
Move to approve sheriff's report for an amount of $9,557.62.
Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Pam, second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Motion passes.
But the only other thing I've got for you, and it's not something we need to make a decision on anytime soon, but the jail's 25 years old, so some of the IT stuff and i.e. cameras, especially the cameras into the jail areas, need to be updated. They're all analog cameras, now everything's IP, so I'm getting some estimates to upgrade those cameras to IP cameras. And we'll look at that after July 1 and make some decisions on what we should do moving forward on that type of system, so.
Are you looking at Johnson Controls, or they're the ones that done the ones in here, so I don't know.
Electronic engineering,
Okay.
no, I haven't.
I didn't know if it was the
Johnson
same system or
Controls.
not. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I can look into that and see. Electronic engineering, and electronic specialties, two companies that we've used in the past that are familiar with our system.
Okay.
It's, I guess, what I'm considering at this
Sure.
point, but it's, so something to think about as a board and time goes. A lot of stuff's original equipment.
They might be cheaper too. Johnson City, kind of pricey when you look at some of those.
Yeah. So really, that's all I have for you this morning. The Tahoe, I guess, it hit the deers back on the road, so that's good news. Other than that, if you have questions for me, I will take them. Okay, thank you.
All right. Department head discussion.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning, Mike.
Last Tuesday, the Conservation Board had our May meeting. One of the things on the item is we had pipeline easement requests. So Carbon Summit came and asked for requests to purchase a pipeline easement on Nelson's Paradise. The board motioned and voted and approved denying the request. So denying their permit. Or purchase of their easement, so the board wasn't interested in having the pipeline on the property, and so they denied the purchase of the easement type thing. Board looked at quotes for a dump trailer, as we're got a dump truck problem right now, so we decided to go with a dump trailer, so the board went ahead and purchased that. Then they discussed, we have three pieces of item that we're not really using anymore. One is a old cedar, and then two old dump trucks that are pretty much outdated. I mean, the one's got flat tires. We'd have to change the rims and out. They don't make those anymore. So those are getting sold. We're going to put two dump trucks on gov deals, and then the hay buster is going to go on the rights auction, which I think is June 2nd. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's their next consignment auction type thing. We talked about park boundaries and fence over at Pioneer Park, as we need to install a fence there. As the park boundary, there was an issue that's been going on for about 5 years now. That all got resolved. And now we got to install a fence with the neighbor along that property. So we got all that figured out. Board was updated on what's going on with the water trail as the bids be due today. So we'll find out how those come in. And then also the activities that are occurring on the bike trail and stuff over the summer and stuff. So that's kind of the big stuff. So if there's any other questions? I got a kink in the neck. I turned the whole body to look at you. So
Still looking at June for the NPC.
it's probably gonna be closer to July now.
Okay.
We've got a little bit of setback on that, because we're trying to get some stuff worked out and make sure we stay within our ballpark type thing, for price wise. So our engineers came back with a plan that was a little Cadillac version. We told them, you gotta scale that back more than a Chevy version. So we're working on that and getting that done. But it's probably gonna be, our goal right now, and this is tentative, is we want to do a public meeting in June, on June 10th, right before our board meeting, to allow the public come in and see these plans. If that works out, then we'd have everything finalized in July, and then hopefully be able to hand them off to you guys into July with pricing on what that cost would be type thing. But that's the tentative schedule, and see how things go from
Are
there.
they broke down? Did they do plans on all three?
All three, yep.
Plans broke down individually for each park?
Yep.
For cost wise?
It will be, yes.
Estimate, okay.
Yep. They did cost estimates on them, but like I said, it was the Cadillac version, and we had to get them back to reality, so that's what we're in the process of doing right now. But we hope to in July. It won't be June, but it'll be July, because we want to make sure that the public has input, opportunity to give input on these designs as well, too.
Did they give price estimates on these, the Cadillac version? Did they?
Yeah.
They have dollar amounts for that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're way high.
Okay, all right.
They're way more than what I would say our board would even think about.
But you do have a number, okay.
Yeah, we got numbers and stuff like that, but yeah, it's a really good plan, but it's just outside our realm of what we need to think about looking at type thing. So it was a nice idea, but like we told them, we gotta get back to more reality type thing. So we'll scale back, and then once we have those, then we'll do a public version, so the public can give input on the 3 parks, and then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Very good, thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, I was writing and I kept doing 2 things. What was the fencing that you were talking about, you put up with the landowners?
Yeah, so Pioneer Park is a park over by Brownville. There was a big discrepancy on who owned the land for a number of years. And we got told by the previous county attorney that we owned it. So we removed the fence that we own the entire property, and the fence, we could remove it. Well, then as things continued on this last winter, we found out that there is property line right there and the fence shouldn't have been removed. So we're putting the fence back up in place type thing. So it's because of the river and where the river has moved and changes the property lines, and the property used to be owned by the state and then got deeded over to the county. And then that's where the discrepancy came into. All this stuff was back in the early 1900s when it first got recorded, and then the body of water changed and all that. So now we're just putting in the fence. We're doing it in-house to keep the cost down. And then it's not a big, expensive fence. It's kind of a 4 barbed wire strand. The neighbor's okay with that, and we're getting it all worked out and stuff. So, but we got it all resolved. But yeah, it's been a thing going since prior to my time. But we were told at the time by the previous county attorney, he's like, no, we own it. Go ahead. You guys can do what you want with it. Well, then as things continued down the line, ended up we didn't own certain parts that we did, and we removed the fence on those areas. Yep. So kind of one of those things. All right. If there's nothing else. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
So I know that we're still trying to work on the wind ordinance and get that done. I know that that's not probably gonna be scheduled for a couple weeks, but I wanted to bring it to your attention that, once the wind ordinance is complete, we should probably look into pretty heavily a solar ordinance. Because I've had a company reach out to me pretty recently, and they're proposing a much bigger solar project than what we have in the county currently. It's large, it's over 300 acres, so I think that that's something that should have an ordinance in place for it, since it is such a big project compared to the ones that we have right now that are 10, 15 acres. I mean, those are still big, but 300 is quite a difference. So that's just something to put in the back of your guys' minds to think about. So, and I've already talked with NICOG. He's willing to help. He would do it for about the same price as what he did with the wind ordinance, and he's going to throw in some changes to variances and also accessory dwelling units, because those got changed at the state level on how we can regulate those. So he would throw that in for this with the solar. So he would just change that and amend it. And he said that it would be about the same cost, but he has to do an actual workup on it. So.
Were you here last week when that guy, his first name was Paul, I can't remember, but he's from Clean Energy?
He met with me. He came to my office.
Okay.
Yep, he dropped off a card.
I don't know if he would have any input, and he might be slanted to a pro solar. I mean, he might be slanted one way or the other. I'm not really sure, but
Yep.
it might not hurt to just touch base with him and see
Yeah,
what he says.
and I'm gonna reach out to all the other counties through base camp and see what they have to offer on their solar ordinances, if they have any. Just so that way, then if we do use NICOG, he doesn't have to, reinvent the wheel. He can at least have some sort of baseline to, start off of. So,
You know how big that one over in Wrightsville at the building?
yeah, that one got approved. That one's 15 acres. So, a lot bigger is being proposed.
So from what I understood from John at NICOG, that he was also just using, not just, but using other counties' ordinances and adapting them to Mitchell County when he worked on the windmill ordinance.
Yeah, he was plugging and playing, but a lot of it is based off of what we wanted and what Mitchell County wanted. But yeah, he would take some other things, like he took from Lynn County on the agriculture mitigation plan, because we didn't originally have something like that in there, but I thought that it was a great idea to have that. So yeah, he was kind of plugging and playing. He was pulling from multiple different resources. Yeah.
Okay.
He just
I
doesn't
just
have,
wondered, yep, go ahead.
he just doesn't have a solar ordinance base right now. So I figured I would do a little bit of the footwork for him and try and pull a bunch of ordinances, and then he can create that whenever you guys, if you wanted to move forward on that.
Is it possible that we can pull one of those for your group to, the planning and zoning, to look at, so that maybe we don't have quite as much dependence on him at NICOG, or is that?
So that's kind of how we started out with the wind ordinance, and then we ended up moving to NICOG because they just didn't feel like they were qualified enough to create the ordinance themselves. So that's kind of how we actually started out with wind. I pulled 12 different ordinances for them to read through, and as you know, ordinances are a tough read. So I did do that for them, and I provided them with all of those ordinances, and as they went through it, they were just, we're not qualified enough to be able to do this. So then they wanted the link. So I don't know if, I mean, I can still do that for them, and I can still pull those ordinances that, whatever counties provide them, I can still provide them for the zoning commission, but yeah, I don't know what's out there. So it's just an idea to think about, something. I mean, he can throw in the accessory dwelling units on there, which is a big thing, the way that we can regulate that now. It was already signed by the governor, I believe, takes it effect July 1st. So that's something that's gonna have to change automatically. So we'll have to be amending that anyways, so. Any other questions? It's just something to put on the back burner. How do you guys think about? Main priority right now is definitely wind. The solar project, I don't think they said will take place until, they don't want to start permitting, I don't think, until late 2026, maybe spring of 2027, if I remember correctly. So I'll be in contact with that individual again, but it just kind of threw up a bunch of red flags when he said that it was 300 acres, and that's not even the whole project. It's going to be feeding into another county too. So
Okay.
it's just a big project that we just don't have regulations for here in Mitchell County. I think that's something that we need to look at. So
So it's 300 proposed just for us.
just for Mitchell County.
Okay.
Yeah, and it feeds into another county too, so it splits.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big project, so. I mean, 300 alone
Yeah.
is a big project,
Right.
but yeah, if it feeding into another county, yeah. It just threw up a lot of red flags for me.
Sure.
When he met with me, he did not have a correct estimate, but he said it would be 500 plus
Wow.
acres, and that was with both counties.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do know that, then this is already set through my fee schedule and through the board of supervisors, but he did kind of pull back a little bit on the phone when I told him what the cost would be for the construction for it, for the permit. Because if it's 300 acres and we do $50 per construction acre, that's $15,000 for them. So he kind of pulled back, was like, well, it's a lot more than I thought, so, but I don't think that's gonna deter him.
I would not think
So,
that would be a.
So it's just something, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to change that because that's been the standard for all solar
Right.
in the county, but it's just, yeah, just something for you guys to think about. I think it's really important. We had to put in some rules and regulations for wind. I think that we should put in some rules and regulations for solar too, just so that way everybody has something to go off of, so.
Yep.
Okay. That's
Thank
it.
you.
While you're up here, next week, can we put on the agenda to appoint a member to the Board of Adjustment?
Yep.
Yeah. Just want to make sure I got the right board.
Board of Adjustment.
And to remind us the areas that the current board members represent for the county are mostly around those
Yeah,
areas
so,
far.
so I have, let's see, I'm testing my knowledge here. Okay, I have one in Osage. Let's see. I have two in Osage, one in Riceville, one in St. Ansgar right now. And then, the one that stepped down is from St. Ansgar. So,
So the Statesville area would be kind of a spot.
yeah,
That's it.
Statesville, or even if you wanted to look in like Douglas, Township, or East or West Lincoln. There's no coverage over there either.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Those are two areas really that could use it, but yeah, Statesville is, I mean, he came from San Ansgar, north of San Ansgar, so.
Okay, we'll put that on next week.
Okay, anything else for me? Yep. Thanks.
Shannon said that she cannot come down, so we'll table hers for next week.
Oh, for the resolution, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
She's the only one up there, and they're going to sick.
okay. I have something, so we got another letter of recommendation for what we were doing before. And wanted it read, so I'm gonna read it. You guys can follow along if you want. So this is from 43 North Iowa. I'm not positive as far as what their role exactly is for us and whatnot. I'm not positive on that. But what it says is, dear members of the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors, we are writing to express our strong support for maintaining a local behavioral health and disability services presence in Mitchell County following the upcoming restructuring of Iowa's mental health and disability services system. For many years, Megan Tietz and Ashley Rosendahl have been cornerstones of support for individuals in the Mitchell County community. Their commitment to accessible, compassionate, and knowledgeable service has positively impacted countless individuals and families. Their doors have always been open, offering not just referrals to individuals in need, but meaningful support, advocacy, and direct assistance that is especially critical in a rural area like Mitchell County. The removal of local in-person social services presence would be a significant loss to the county. As professionals who have worked directly with both Megan and Ashley in a provider capacity, We have seen firsthand how their work bridges gaps in access to care, ensures timely connection to resources, and provides ongoing support for individuals navigating complex systems. Their knowledge of the community and ability to build trusting relationships would not be easily replaced. Mitchell County residents deserve equitable access to behavioral health and disability services, and that means having professionals available within the community who understand local needs. We commend the county supervisors for considering options to retain this crucial presence. Please feel free to contact us with any questions or further information. Sincerely, Alicia Holland, she's an IPS program supervisor, and Kelly Wright, she's a senior employment consultant.
Thank you. Any other department head? All right. County engineer.
Morning.
Morning.
Update on the Echo Bridge. Looks like we're about 2 weeks out for completion. The rain didn't help today, but we need the rain. There, the prime contractors moved out. We've got backfilling to do and some riprap and a guardrail to be installed, and then that project will be done. We had a pre-con last week for the bridge south of McIntyre. The late start date's June 1st. It sounds like this isn't official, but it sounds like they want to move in on the late start date. So before I put anything out officially, I need to talk to the contractor again to verify that's their timeline, because they may be later than that, but we'll still have to charge working days on late start date. But so that's coming up pretty quick. Last week we took quotes for last Friday. We got quotes in for the rock run and our annual paint thing, our annual road striping. We got one quote from LR Fault for our rock run. We had a total of, I think it was 61,000 tons, around 60,000 tons, and the quote came in at $1,034,064. So that's the only quote we got for that one. And then the annual paint striping for the roadways, we got 3 quotes for the paint. The lowest quote was Camline out of Gilbert, Iowa, for $161,988.47. Now that's including Worth County, so we'll buy about a little less than half of that because Worth County had a few more miles. So the highest quote was significantly higher, 250,000 roughly. So and Camline's done a lot of our paint striping in the past, so they're familiar with what we're expecting. So we got those out and get them awarded, and then move on from there. We got some quotes in for our welders shot in the shop. So I got a couple quotes here for different welders. I think the lowest quotes for a Miller welder for around $8,179.53. So I'll have to probably get a new welder brought in. So but we'll get it out of the budget. So I thought I had one more thing. I did get with Tim Whipple last week, got some numbers to him. I think he's done with his legal review on the ordinance for the right of way. So I'll try to figure out which official document we have, and I'll send it out to Sydney, and she can forward it to the rest of you to look at. The numbers I put in were raw numbers for what I would think would be what we would charge for the fees for the engineer to look at it, or an assistant, or a road foreman, or things like that. They're raw numbers. There's no overhead in it. I don't know if we need to put that in there, what we can legally do or not, but the numbers are there, and I think he's reviewed everything. I've corresponded with him on what he had for questions. So I think he said unless we want to change anything, to give it another cursory review, he's done with it, with what we have. So.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And we are doing our little shouldering project there before we try to get the paving going on our local paving that we have to get let yet. So the guys are doing a good job of trying to strengthen the shoulder. What was there prior, and it's amazing how much rock gets pushed down, because we're cutting about 10 inches and we're still hitting the granular, but it's not big enough and stable enough so we're putting about 6 to 8 inches of macadam down, and we'll choke it off with some shoulder rock, and we'll get our 24-foot top, maybe a little bit more, so we can put a little bit of a rock shoulder on it when we're done paving, but getting that road wider will give us a little bit more edge support for the bigger equipment. Right now, it's paved at 20 feet wide. If we can get paved to 24 feet, we don't have to worry about shoulder maintenance as much, but at the same time, we get a little bit more edge support on the traveling portions.
That area by the tracks, that was always notorious for cross boils. And after you did that, we talked, I thought maybe that was the reason why it had so much rock, but we're finding that.
I'm finding that we're getting down to that 10 inches and we're just getting, the last test section we had, we were just scraping some clay. So we're just getting down there. But, you know, when it was rebuilt, you said it was an old gravel road that was rebuilt. And so who knows how much rock got pushed around and whatever, but I think we're doing the right thing, strengthening the shoulders and doing it ourselves versus paying somebody else to do it. So very good. All right.
The edge rudder.
What's that?
The edge rudder. Getting going there, the Primrose has got quite a job.
Oh, yeah. I want to try to get another truck set up because right now we've been solely using it on this shouldering project. But if we get the second one set up, we can start getting some edge running done, or maybe run the disc and see if we can pull some of that up too with the disc and get it brought back in without rutting and adding more rock. But you say Primrose is good? Yeah, okay. Well, after all the farming and everything, I'm sure a lot of rock got pushed around, so we'll hit back out here now. So we'll make sure we can get it pulled in and packed down. So, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Approved clerk of court report for April of $1,726.59.
Move to approve clerk of court report.
Todd made motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Jim, second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Mark.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Cindy.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Approved resolution to appoint deputy auditor.
So I guess we all think that we're following the code until we're told differently. So in the code, it says that we need to, you guys approve and have approved deputies in board meetings as a motion in a second. We actually need a resolution to go with it. So I talked with Elizabeth with Gardner, and she said that Howard County's is good. So this is copied from Howard County's. There's a couple ways you can do it. Once we're reelected, we're supposed to do this every time. Otherwise, you can do it by, if you want to say like mine here, it says for a 4-year term. You could do it yearly, calendar year, fiscal year, kind of however you want to do it. So I think that's maybe why Shannon is just gonna table hers till next week to figure out what she wants to do. So mine was stated to have it for my term as well. So then I just have it, the dates on here are the dates that I was elected and the date that I took my oath. Then it lists the 2 deputies, Renee and Lindsay. Any questions?
You want to read it?
Yeah, sure. Whereas the Mitchell County Auditor was duly elected on November 5th, 2024, and took the oath of office on December 26th, 2024, for a 4-year term beginning on January 2nd, 2025. And whereas per chapter 331-903, 1 of the Code of Iowa, each officer may appoint 1 or more deputies, assistants, or clerks for whose acts with the principal officer is responsible, and approval of each appointment shall be adopted by a resolution recorded in the minutes of the board. Now therefore be resolved by the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors that the following appointments by the auditor are approved. Renee Roll, Deputy Auditor, Lindsay Uhlenhoff, Deputy Auditor. This resolution shall apply retroactively to January 2nd, 2025. Approved this 20th day of May, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
Mark made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Pam, second. Resolution number 1279-25. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Cindy.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Motion passes. Resolution number 1280-25. Approve resolution to appoint deputy recorder. This has all the same. Well, I guess not.
Just the dates are different,
Just the
so
dates.
she was elected on November 8th, 2022, and took the oath of office on December 27th, 2022, for a term beginning on January 3rd, 2023. And it's for Monica Sigler, deputy recorder.
All right. Is there a motion to approve deputy recorder?
I move to approve resolution 128025 for the appointment of deputy recorder Monica Sigler.
Pam made a motion, is there a second?
Second. Go ahead, Todd.
Todd, second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Pam.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Cindy.
Motion passes. Resolution number 1281-25. Approve resolution to appoint deputy sheriff.
Move to approve resolution 1281-25.
Who's gonna read the?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead
no,
and read
go
it.
ahead. Jim made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mark, second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Cindy.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Motion passes.
I'll remain quiet this time. I'm sorry.
Nope, it's fine. Treasurer, not going to do it. So do we change?
Yep, so the next.
The next resolution would be,
1282.
okay. So approve resolution for destruction of election records would be resolution number 1282-25.
So the code states that when we go to destroy the election records, that we're required to do a resolution. So we would be just shredding the paperwork from the general election 11/8/2022. There are certain documents that we keep forever. So these are gonna be your ballots, all the absentee request forms, and what's all this stuff? And if anyone had the paperwork that they had to sign, that they had used assistance when they were voting. So
Okay.
we keep the rest of it.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to motion, resolution 1282-25.
I made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead.
Jim, second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Cindy.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approve resolution and mailing for change in payroll processing. This will be resolution number 1283-25.
So we had talked previously about putting everyone on the same pay schedule, so salary employees will get paid after the hours that are worked. So we worked with Ann down at Taylor's Cooney, and she helped put this all together. So it shows all the hours, or all the salaried employees, what their salary is for the year. So at June, I think it's 19th, will be our last payroll of the year. We would have all technically got paid our full salary for the year, if that makes sense, because back in July of '24, we were paid ahead. So the first payroll in July, which will be July 3rd, are technically for hours worked in June, which we're already paid for. So the green amount on the resolution, that's the amount that's considered an overage, because our June 19th payroll goes through June 30th, where this amount is hours worked in June, which we were already paid for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
So it kind of like doubles up. So this was the amount that we'd get paid on the July 3rd, and then on the July 17th will be that will be our full salary for July. Does that make sense? 4 hours worked in July.
So we get paid ahead of time right now.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a correction July 1st because we would have got paid into July, but there has to be a correction because things have changed
Yep.
and it's backing up.
So like July 3rd payroll is actually going to be the June 20th, June 22nd. I lied. June 15th through July, or June 28th is the payroll that's being paid on July 3rd. So then the July 17th payroll will actually be the June 29th through the June 5th. No, I lied. June 12th. Sorry, I'm getting confused here. So, yep, it'll be June 29th through July 5th. I said that wrong again, didn't I? The 2-week period, sorry, the 29th through the 12th. And so on that one, on that payroll, it actually breaks it down to a daily rate. So you will have one day, all of us will have that one daily rate at that rate, because it's our old payroll from the last fiscal year, and then the other 9 days will appear as the new daily rate. It's kind of confusing saying it out loud over and over, but, and help with that to get it all right. It's messy, so basically it comes out to, it's like half a pay period because it's 1 week's worth. But at the end of next fiscal year, you will still actually be paid out the full approved salary. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
It's confusing, I know.
Right.
So what it boils down to is all the numbers will be correct.
It will be correct,
Everybody
yes.
will get paid correctly.
We will
Yes.
get it.
So
Not
without
out of us.
approving this resolution of that overage payment, basically salary employees wouldn't get paid for like a whole month if we didn't do this. So it's kind of, it's not the employee's fault that this is how it was set up way back when. It's just correcting, getting paid after that was worked. It's messy.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Mark made a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Pam, second. Any further discussion?
Roll call, Mark.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Doug.
Motion passes.
And so we'll mail out those, I think I attached all those letters for you guys. We'll mail those out today then.
Yeah, there's 20 pages worth. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Meetings attended.
What was the letters? Well,
They were attached in our email, the letters to every person that's on this list.
Oh, gotcha.
Stating what is happening.
Okay, all right. I did not have anything.
I didn't have anything.
I was at the conservation meeting and Mike pretty well did a drill down on things that they covered there, so.
I had nothing.
I had a FMC early childhood last night, to the financials for April, revenues and expenditures, look good. We got an email, last week. The state is funding this program, for next year, full. So our last meeting, they were telling us to cut back, save, because they were gonna let us carry over to try and help. And within 3.5 weeks, they changed their mind and says, we'll be funding this full. So we have to do a 360 now and let some of the programs, the preschool scholarships, everything, all that will all be funded now again. So we have to reach out to all parents and send them letters. So it's a good thing. It's just that how can things get so crazy in 3.5 weeks, so. And that's where I was gonna go with FY 25-26 funding. They will be funding it in full. We went to the third quarter providers, gave us reports on how their financing was doing and programs. Schools will be coming to a close here, mid-May. And We want them to all turn claims in by May 31st, so we can get them paid. And, that was it.
Manure management?
Jenkins Nursery, and I actually just have the location of it, not the address. It's the northeast of the northeast, section 149915 in Jenkins Township. And Iowa Egg Company, 3407 Kirkwood Avenue, Osage, Iowa.
Public comments?
Yes.
We have a meeting at 1:00, discussion and possible action on general assistance.
So that was a meeting that we just set up to get some information from the Board of Health and some input from those people as far as how we can move forward with general assistance in Mitchell County. That is the program that we have to support. And is there some way that they may be able to assist us? And so we have invited the Board of Health, public of course, because it was advertised, or it was posted, I should say. And so it is a joint meeting of the Board of Supervisors and the Board of Health.
What mechanism do you have to decide this?
What's that?
What mechanism are you using to decide need of such assistance?
So the general assistance program is required of each county. And right now, the individual that's being supported through County Social Services, CSS, that sunsets on June 30th, has been handling our general assistance program. And so as a county, we need to support our general assistance. So we would need to adopt we would need to appoint, I should say, a director or coordinator of our general assistance and then decide who that is, where that would go. We're just getting some information and seeing how we can move forward with the general assistance so that we can assure that there's time for training on that program and all the backup and the resolutions that are needed to support general assistance. First and foremost.
The short answer is you don't know.
What's that?
The short answer is you don't know at this time they're going to establish that mechanism.
Well, yeah, we're still trying to work through this and determine. And so the request was made to get some people together, and we've got additional information from some other entities, other counties, other support services similar to 43 North Iowa that were read today as well. So.
All right. Any other public comments?
Oh, I just want to state that the mental health walk that was held by the Board of Health and the Public Health Group last week was well attended. They walked all the way down to the Mitchell County Regional Health and dodged the street work and came back. And it was a warm day that we got to walk, so.
Regards to Keith's comment, so that the meeting will be a go-to meeting also, I'm assuming, so that people can log in, is that correct?
It is not on go-to meeting. It's just
I
said,
did not look at that agenda. I don't think it is.
no.
What's that?
I don't know.
It's just a workshop, so to speak. So I was told that,
It's not a workshop, it says discussion, possible action, it's not a workshop.
so it wouldn't be action on the Board of Supervisors' part. It would be, so the question is, would the Board of Health support their person to handle a position for our general assistant? And would they be in agreement that that would be agreeable for the Board of Health? And then if the Board of Health says, yes, that might work within our program here, then it comes to the Board of Supervisors. The possible action isn't for the Board of Supervisors. It's just for us to collect information.
So,
And Board of Health meetings are not on go-to meetings.
but Board of Supervisors are, and this is Board of
Right.
Supervisors meeting, so I guess I'm questioning why the public.
Oh,
wouldn't be involved.
I guess I was told that we didn't have to have it recorded. So that would be my mistake then, from that standpoint. I was told that we didn't have to have it recorded.
Do we feel it's good public information? I guess that's the thing. If the board doesn't feel it's good public information, I guess that we can go that way, I don't care.
Sorry. We can turn it on. Rachel, you're coming down to this meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might as well just turn it on.
Sure, no problem.
We'll turn it on and anyone listening, we will have a meeting at 1:00. If you want to come back and watch. Anything else? I'm going to adjourn the meeting at 9:15.
Anybody wants to look at the cube? I can lock it. Maybe it's not coming in the window.
I'll be up.
I mean,